Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. No matter where in the world you're joining us from, you've landed at the bus station. We are the Brunch Busters. I'm Bobby Munson, the man beside me, Chris Parrish, and our special guest, the OG gold standard himself, host of Turnbuckle Talk and the Raw Watch Along, Carl Carafell. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday.
You're more than welcome. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Parrish, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Having not hungover from last night. That was nice.
No, me neither, even though I'm dipping in again for a little bit here. it eases.
Want to keep the party going. So, yeah.
It's a celebratory weekend now.
It is a celebratory weekend, as we saw our good old friend Alex Kane in the main event. We'll get to that later. But we also saw our good old friend Jay Bougie make that appearance in MLW Never Say Never as it's part of the Boom IA Fight Club. So good for him.
Yeah, I was very excited too. I marked out hard seeing him on there. But I don't mark out often, but I did for a lot of things last night. It was such a great night. Astrid, how are you doing this morning? Good to see you.
Oh, that was like the perfect timing.
Yeah,
good job.
Well done.
Yeah.
Yes, and the gold standard is here. That's why the audience is just going to continue to grow as they start to find out that we got Carl here with us today.
Yeah. So we might as well just get right to it.
Right to it.
Alex Kane becomes MLW heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
Guest of the show, friend of the channel, Alex Kane dethrones Alex Hammerstone and becomes your new Major League Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, he sure did. I marked out hard for this matchup, big time for it. I loved every bit of it. Hammerstone has done such an amazing job. He has had, what did they say? It was quite a few successful title defenses, like 26 or something like that during his run as the champion, which says a lot in the modern day of professional wrestling. So again, no discredit to what Hammerstone has done, but Alex Kane is just on this rise right now. Every single day, people are starting to take note of the Beaumaye Fight Club and of Alex Kane, and he put them all on notice. He put the world on notice last night, not only with a phenomenal matchup, but getting that victory, the celebration that ensued afterwards, just the whole presentation with everybody in the Beaumaye Fight Club there surrounding him and all chanting Beaumaye throughout the crowd. The crowd was hot for Alex Kane. They turned on Alexander Hammerstone. They gave him chants like same old shit and stuff like that during this matchup here. They legitimately turned on him as of last night, because that is how much they have fallen into the Beaumaye Fight Club and what Alex Kane is bringing to the table. Just amazing.
Your thoughts on that, Carl?
I mean, the Beaumaye Fight Club is becoming like the next big faction. We've gone through with different factions, like we had the Fabulous Freebirds, which technically was kind of like a faction, 3 members in there, going through to, the NWO, to DX, to the Bloodline that's happening right now, to the Judgment Day happening right now. In a smaller extent, we could even say the OC, but more and more people are getting to know the name, the Beaumaye Fight Club, and it's fantastic to see. And then to have Alex Kane win that championship, jeez, man, like that's absolutely insane. For sure, I thought that Hammerstone was going to continue to hold on to that championship, almost like Roman Reigns-esque, forever and ever. Yeah, it turns out not so much, that the push is going somewhere else, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, and again, sorry, Parrish, just for 1 sec, but they've been slowly pushing Kane since his arrival there and stuff like that. They've tested the waters, put him in certain areas to get him to this point, and then suddenly, when it was time to pull the trigger, the storytelling was all there. Number 1 at the Battle Riot, goes through the entire thing, chokes out Davey Boy Smith afterwards, and again, like Parrish predicted, and it's your chance to gloat, buddy, because you told Alex Kane right on this show that he was going to make Hammer tap, and damn it, he made Hammer tap last night.
I mean, I don't want to say I gave the guy an idea, but I gave the guy an idea. But no, I mean, it was perfect because, and I'll get to Brian Carter thing, which, by the way, Brian, nice to see you again. How are you doing? How's your Sunday morning treating you? But he's saying they actually made a good match where the battle made it truly look like Kane took Hammerstone down. It was a great story.
Yeah.
Hammerstone is a lot like Hogan, which he had very much some Hogan-esque maneuvers last night. You realize he's a little douchey, but it's hard not to like him.
Yeah, and and he plays on it. He has many times over and over again and stuff like that. And even Alex Kane kind of made reference to it on Fusion when he was calling Hammerstone out and stuff like that. You get down here, Hulk Hogan, we'll go one-on-one kind of thing. Like, the references are there. Hammer runs with it because that's the kind of guy he is and everything. But he's a fantastic talent. But I think that this is starting to see the signs of he's been there, done that with MLW. And I think that the next journey for Hammerstone is right around the corner. I believe that now there's going to be temptations from, say, an AEW, a WWE, possibly. I mean, I don't know. This is me speculating, but usually when we see this happen with the champions in MLW, it's around the time that they start to get ready to move on to the next venture in their life. And he will be big when he goes somewhere and applies his craft.
Well, in this is now a question that I'm going to ask. If he is to leave MLW and he is to go somewhere else, would it make perfect sense, because it was a tap, not a pin, that him and Alex Kane have one more match where Alex Kane puts the title on the line and Alex Hammerstone says, this place ain't big enough for the both of us. It's either me as champion or it's me out of MLW. Do they put the stakes at the highest level and go that route? Or do we see something different from Alex Hammerstone? Maybe a full-on heel turn and does something completely different.
That's a possibility as well, too. And before, just so you know, Basser, I think I forgot to turn the function off, but I don't have any shots prepared, and I'm not prepared to do any shots here on a Sunday morning. So we will pass on the shots category here. But thank you for sending those out last night. I was really happy with the amount of shots that I had to consume before the end of the broadcast.
And I'll actually just, I asked if you guys wanted to do a shot for my season 1 win of Russell Draft, and you said a little later. We didn't do it on screen, but to prove that you're an honest man, you and Papa Smokes did do one off screen, so thank you.
You're welcome. And cheers. I'll cheer to you now, too. So,
well, with that being said.
As you came back from being in last or pretty close or behind anyway kind of thing to conquer that one, that was fantastic.
Oh man, I was really digging in the dumps for a bit. Brian Carter coming in. I think MLW took a huge step forward last night of what has been relatively disorganized and sketchy until then. Well, it's easy when you have a very good main event and a very good story, and the building pieces are just coming with you. I cannot say enough about that show, and Warner and Williams going at it in the match, and then you had Williams and Thatcher, and then you had Warner
and Sam Adonis.
Yeah, and Sam Adonis in there, and I think Sam Adonis is, man, I think that could be the next guy. I really do.
He's solid. He's solid. He's a good promo. He's got a lot of talent there, and I like Sam Adonis. But what I believe that they're going to build towards right now, more than anything, is continue to build the Beaumaye Fight Club as a faction, while they'll have the Calling, which is led by Raven, continue to infiltrate their evil upon MLW, as we saw last night, Akira becoming a double champion for the Calling as he captured tag team gold, as well as he won the middleweight championship just recently as well, too. I think they're going to build the evil faction like they like to do, while the Beaumaye Fight Club picks up as the babyface faction the fans get behind, inevitably leading to the War Chamber matchup that they like to have, the blow-off between two rival factions going into it. And I think that might be the direction MLW chooses to go with this. Yeah, no, and it's pretty... It's a good setup too, even though they haven't done much together or anything together. It's a great way to kind of start setting that up, especially when you have tag gold and a double champion, as you said, and then you have the champion on the other side. It makes for great television. So the next show, if we see that start and they actually meet up in that ring and you see that tension, it's only going to be fireworks moving forward. So I think they have put the pieces in place, for a great story. And we saw that they have upcoming shows come in. And I believe the next one is September 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. I believe so. It was on a Sunday for sure. I'll just have another peek here, but I'm pretty sure you're right on that date there, Parrish.
So knowing that there's an actual organized plan now moving forward, this could be, like you did say, Brian, that huge step that MLW is taking.
Yeah. And I love watching this live capacity as well, too. It was great to be able to get in on this, watch it as it happened. So I don't have to find out accidentally any spoilers or people going online and being like, and new, wow, son of a bitch, I'm not going to see it for 8 weeks kind of thing. And I know Brian's going to bust my balls and say that how come PPW hasn't gone to a live capacity yet. And, you know, we're working towards it, buddy. We're working towards it. Promise you. Parrish, did we get a ticker made up for one of the major announcements from last night about the draft that went down?
I was going to get to that because
okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Okay.
To honestly answer your question, not yet. But I had a segue here and I wanted to use it before.
Okay.
But with Alex Kane becoming champion from the long-tenured Alex Hammerstone, people said, well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Begs the question now, is CM Punk the favorite to win the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament? Your thoughts as I get that ticker made.
You take this one first, Carl, because I ran my mouth on MLW already.
I think, unfortunately, that's the way it's going to go. This push for CM Punk seems to continue week in, week out. This show, that show, all around, in our face, giving it to you. Bullshit. Come on. CM Punk has done more than enough within his career within professional wrestling. Does he really need an Owen Hart Memorial Cup championship to put under his belt as well? Or should it go to the likes of Ricky Starks? Like, I think it's just, it's too much. It's 100% too much. I'm not a hater of CM Punk. I enjoy watching his stuff. But do we really need him winning this? Or should he go out there, have an amazing matchup, and give it to an up-and-comer so that they can get that shine from it? That's how I would go about it. I don't want to see CM Punk win this.
Well, I mean, the large capacity crowd of 1,200 people out of Regina, Saskatchewan last night would have totally disagreed with you, Carl, as they seem to at least have CM Punk chance going for them. I don't know what kind of microphone amplification they needed to make themselves heard, but apparently that's all the news going around. But I agree with you. I think that CM Punk is going to win, but I think that giving the rub to somebody like Ricky Starks is a better way to go. Ricky Starks is somebody that could take the ball and run with it in terms of being a bigger star. He very capable. You know, he's a sharp looking young man, got the ability on the microphone. He's proven that before. He just needs to stop having this booking going for him where it's hot, cold, hot, cold. Like he's there and then they pull him all the way back there. Pull him enough already. Yeah. Either you want him there or you want him back here. And he needs to be definitely more up here because he has got that capability. He's somebody they can build the company upon moving forward and pull the trigger. Nothing puts a guy over more than beating someone like CM Punk, who is causing a very large divide amongst the IWC.
Beating CM Punk and holding on to a, I would say, coveted piece of history with the name of Owen Hart attached to it, that right there on top of it just more solidifies that this person is deserving of greatness in my books.
Brian Carter coming in saying, I live in Chicago and they don't even like CM Punk here. We're all over his crap. Well, Brian, if you're all over his crap, why does AEW continuously go to Chicago and you cheer for the man?
I don't know that the pop. I don't know if the pop for him there last time was quite as deafening as what it's been in the past. Actually, considering that's the hometown. So
no. But also, this is a great thing for AEW having a polarized villain too in this. And if they are to do something with Starks and Punk moving forward after this tournament, and it's made to help Ricky Starks, I'm all for. Do I think Ricky Starks should win? Yeah, I think it'd be a great stepping stone towards his come back into the main event scene. I think that would be something I'd be looking forward to. But I also think CM Punk, and hear me out on this, if Collision needs a world title, if him winning the Owen Hart Memorial Cup tournament is a step for them to name that title after Owen Hart, I don't know if I'd totally hate it. Do I think that's something that they should do? I don't know. Not for me to say. But I would be very reminiscent to think if Owen Hart's name was in that world title name for Collision, that would be pretty cool. But also CM Punk might be the perfect person to hold that first time because of how much that'll make the guy and the babyface that beats him.
You want to know what they really need to do is have Starks win this year and then have him win it again next year so he can carry around 2 trophies like Owen Hart used to when he won the Slammies in that same year. I think that would be fantastic.
I said it before and I'll say it again. You're going to have this person that wins. Last year, we saw Britt Baker win. We saw Adam Cole win. They were given these trophies and these gorgeous looking Owen Hart Memorial Cup championships. So we don't necessarily need to make those a world championship for Collision. But why can they not just bring that out and it's something that isn't contested for until the next tournament, but still continues to have the Owen Hart name out there for everyone and continuing to give some relevancy to those title belts, those championships, those coveted trophies that are only defended once a year in a tournament style. And you get like the King of the Ring. Right? Yeah. You remember back in the King of the Ring days, fucking Booker T, sorry, I just swore, Booker T went off on it. Him and Sharmell, the whole King Booker bullshit that was going on. He had the crown, the scepter, the robe, everything for the entire time. Why can't we do the same thing with an Owen Hart championship to keep it and make it something?
See, and MLW does it well with the Opera Cup because whoever wins the Opera Cup always brings it with them down there. They put it down at ringside at the where the ring announcers are and collect it again afterwards until they pull storylines where it's been stolen. Blah, blah. But essentially the Opera Cup is always there and in play, but it's not contested until the very next cup tournament.
Yeah, and Britt Baker actually did bring her championship down when she had her first match in the tournament this year. Yes. So that was a thing. And I'm wondering, too, if maybe the reason why they don't is because there's already a lot of championship titles in AEW, and maybe they have some internal thing saying, okay, well, this is a commemorative title, kind of just like, I know there's plans back in the WWF to have a King of the Ring title. One was actually made. But I have an idea, and I think this would be cool. If you won last year, that is your automatic ticket to be entered in the next year. Oh, but if you lose, that championship now is awarded to a winner. So if you want to hold that championship, you must run through the tournament again. But if not, you have to pass that up. And it's, I don't know, it's almost like the historic green jacket in the Masters almost, right? Like you win one of those, you're automatically in the tournaments now. So it's almost like that badge of, yeah, I've been there, done that, and it could be respected now. Yeah. And then maybe one year you can have the ultimate one and have nothing but winners fight on. But I also want to just touch up on the women's side of it because we did talk a lot about the men's side. Mm-hmm. Sky Blues against Ruby Soho, and that will take place on the July 12th edition of Dynamite, so this Wednesday. Then we have Willow Nightingale going up against Athena, which I believe that is going to be on Rampage on July 14th. Well, the finals of both, I believe, are July 15th on Collision, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think is their Calgary episode.
We got both these two matches you mentioned here coming up in Saskatoon this week. Mm-hmm. So I'll be seeing those in a live capacity. Very much looking forward to it. Geez, I don't know what to say. I keep thinking that they're going to pull the trigger with Ruby on this one. I really do think that's the direction they're going. And again, she's been it's kind of that start-stop kind of momentum since coming to AEW that it'd be nice if you're going to do something with her, do this and then have it go somewhere. Have her start to become one of your tops because she's awesome. We know that. Everybody enjoys Ruby Soho and would like to see her in that kind of position with the company where she is considered one of the top women on the roster and contending for or holding one of the championships.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate it. The one thing I will say is Ruby Soho, when she defeated Britt Baker, they did use their group to kind of help with that win. I wouldn't be surprised if Britt Baker helps Sky Blue get that's kind of lucky win or that unexpected win out of here, just to continue that. And if you've noticed on that first collision, they did a real good job of pushing Sky Blue, and it seems like there's a lot of momentum behind making her a new face in that women's division. I honestly would be shocked if they didn't do Sky Blue versus Willow Nightingale in that final and just have a completely fresh look in that tournament.
Fair assessment. I like it.
It's exactly where I was going to go with it as well. I'm going Ruby Soho. Sure, she's done a lot in the WWE back in the day. Came into AEW. What has she really done since then? Not a whole hell of a lot. But then you get somebody that they've been pushing like Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale. Willow went and had an amazing matchup with Mercedes. Right? Won that championship. I mean, technicalities, I know, but she was holding that championship.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why would you not use those two names as the young stars that are there and help, like with building those stars? Because AEW, remember, you are still starting out as a company. You are within, their fourth year now? Right? Third or fourth year they're in right now. Okay, so now you've kind of solidified yourself as a company, as a decent and good company within the professional wrestling world. Now is the time to get away from putting everything onto your stars from other companies that have come in to help build shit for you and start allowing those stars to build your future with the names like Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale. So I think it's definitely should come down to those two, but I wouldn't be surprised with Tony Khan's mind going, oh no, we need to have it Ruby and Athena. I can definitely see it coming to that with Ruby winning it over Athena. Do I think it's the right choice? No. You heard my choice.
Yeah. Kind of impact has Taya Valkyrie had in AEW, or is she just a filler? Kind of like a fart in the wind, come and gone.
I'm actually going to say, like, there was a lot of talk of having her in that role to be the one to dethrone Jade Cargill, and they ended up, I think, going with they used that match as the catalyst to dethrone Jade instead, because Chris Statlander came back, and they went with the original idea. So I don't think Taya Valkyrie is that fart in the wind per se, but she did get
fault. But
no, but it's that again they had that new toy, they put it right up, knowing that it wasn't going to be somebody they went with, and it doesn't help with that growth of that individual. And I think that's kind of where it's like the stop and starts kind of thing we're talking about sometimes, and that's why it's very dangerous to kind of be that new popular thing or that new shiny toy kind of there when the play box isn't that packed to begin with, or doesn't feel like that, especially when you had Jade Cargill, who I didn't think actually, like, did she become a star? Yeah, but also she kind of helped kind of put the division back because it became predictable, and that's one of the worst things you can do, in my opinion.
Yeah. And
it's not her fault, it's just the way it was.
Just the fact that Taya Valkyrie's name is still coming up means 100% something. So at this point, we've had Taya Valkyrie going on, matches with Jade Cargill. She's just about, she's going to dethrone her. Oh, it's going to be, oh shit, she didn't. Okay, so now you have a brand new show on Saturday nights. You've already solidified Taya Valkyrie as being a dominant competitor who was able to take Jade Cargill to the freaking limits, allow her to go over to Collision and build the women's division over there. That's what makes sense to me. But I don't run AEW.
No. And don't get me wrong, Taya, like Brian knows this very well. Taya's fantastic, and everything that she was doing over in MLW, I thought was great. She did a great job holding that featherweight division, up while being the champion and everything like that. And she works great as a heel too. Like when she's got that attitude about her, you pay attention. So my comments more about just, again, the booking. It's not the performer, it's the booking. And it seems to really hurt some of these performers kind of thing, because it is, like Parrish described, a new toy. And every time Tony or someone has one of these new toys, bring them in, play with them for a bit, and it's like, oh shit, new toy again, and the other one goes off to the side and forgotten about for a while.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but I mean, I get why you're doing that too. Like you're almost putting yourself in that rock and a hard place kind of scenario. And this is where I wouldn't be upset if we see one of Ruby or one of Athena make it to the final, as long as we see one of Willow or one of Sky Blue in there, because I think that is very important to help build not only the future of this division, but also to invest on having something different in there and having that extra flavor. Baskin Robbins didn't get by having chocolate or vanilla. They got by having multiple varieties and options for their customers. And I think that is a great way for AEW to help build this women's division.
Now, if it were up to me, I would build it around Willow Nightingale, because I think tons of potential, and I think she's shown that time and time again. I have my doubts that could be done with her commitments with New Japan now and stuff like that too, and other things she's got going on. So if you've got someone like Sky Blue more locked down to your company in particular, it might be the smarter business method to go with building the new star.
Yeah, and just to have clarification, because we were talking about when how long AEW's been around. They were founded January 1 of 2019, so just over 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
So it will be 5 years, January 1, 2024. So, I mean, just to give a little bit of stats out there, as our friend Mark Talks Wrestling likes to put himself. Speaking of stats, one member of the WWE Women's roster was awarded from her stats of being one of the most active female wrestlers, kind of in the company, and that was Natalya. She got awarded a lot of records, I guess, Guinness record plaques at Money in the Bank. But then she also responded by having one of the best matches, if not the best match, on Monday Night Raw. Well, her counterpart of her, Shayna Baszler, had probably the best promo on Raw. And I just want to ask, not that we discount these talents, but who actually had a Natalya match and a Shayna Baszler promo as their highlight to Monday Night Raw? Again, not saying they're not capable, but it's not something we expected. And I'm saying this in a great way, because it was awesome.
We'll let you go first, Carl, but before we do, I just also want to mention the OMD also ran through all of those awards, those Guinness records that were handed out to Natalya on Turnbuckle Talk this week. So anybody who wants to go find out more in depth what was given out to Natalya, that is available over on the channel, both on Turnbuckle Talk and on our local establishment. And you can find out all those Guinness records. But over to you, Carl.
My bingo card did not have either one of those things on there. We've seen time and time again where natty matches have just been bullshit, squash, okay, go home, got your little paycheck, thanks for coming out type of matches. And then Shayna Baszler, I've never really been hot on Shayna. But this kind of was like, and making me think a little bit more on who she is and the talent that she is. She really showed that she can work the stick as well as work inside the ring, and just kind of upped her value a little bit more in my books. Anyways, it was gorgeous. It was fantastic.
And it was real. I think that was one of the best parts about that whole promo is that you
Right.
know that there's a real life friendship between Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Yeah, we know that this, with all the rumors that this could be the potential exit of Ronda Rousey, and she wanted this match before that. But at the same time, Shayna Baszler came out swinging with that promo, saying a lot of things. Not only that, as fans, exactly like what you were just implying there, Carl, they were thinking as well. But because of their real life friendship, because of their chemistry that they've had in the ring and in MMA prior, you believe it because it comes from a real place, and it was really good. Do you feel a little bit for Ronda knowing that it's a friend? A little bit more because it's personal, but because it's these are the feuds that she should have had from day one. Not jumping her into the title scene right away, not having her be thralled into a place where she's not comfortable. She's comfortable in places like this, and it would be great for her to leave on her best match at the same time. But imagine if this is where we had it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, instead of now. Ronda Rousey and what we perceive her to be could have been different.
Fair. Shayna being allowed to shine doesn't surprise me. So what surprised me was the turn, because I didn't see that coming. The fact that they actually gave her an opportunity to speak and show what kind of star she can be does not shock me in the least. And that's what I like about it the most. Shayna, I've definitely been high on her work for a long time, since the NXT days. Here's the thing about Shayna. Allow her to talk. She's going to talk. She's going to sound real. She is somebody that can legitimately kick the shit out of all three of us without even, breaking a sweat. Sorry to say, boys, but Shayna's an ass kicker. I'm afraid of her, and rightfully so. And so should Ronda, because this is someone who knows her inside and out, knows her weaknesses, which there are quite a few in the wrestling ring. And Shayna can expose those, and she's going to, very much so. And I believe that this is going to do wonders for putting Shayna over. It allows her that spotlight with somebody who has a name, regardless of whether the IWC is on board with Ronda Rousey. The name still exists, and this will help Shayna big time. When it comes to Natalya, again, I wouldn't have put it on my match card as expected. But again, I'm very well aware of what Natalya is capable inside of that ring. She's probably one of the best in-ring performers overall when allowed to be, or when choosing to. Again, here the opportunity was given, proof shown one more time throughout her illustrious career. The squash matches and things like that, again, this just comes down to what we always presume is Natalya is just that kind of person that is okay to go out there and do what they ask of her exactly the way they ask of her every single time, and is put in that dedication for a long, long time. And again, is a living legend. She will be inducted into that Hall of Fame, and everybody should respect just the amount of dedication she has shown to that company and things she has done for that entire division.
Yeah, and what I personally loved was the style of this match. It wasn't your technical style that you're used to seeing Natalya. No, she came out swinging by beating up Rhea during her entrance. Very similar to what Rhea's been doing. She brought the fight to Rhea, and you saw at the end, Rhea's bleeding from the mouth. Why? Because she was taking some shots. It was a war, and because of that, you just respect the competitors that much more in a war. And it also helps show how dominant of a champion Rhea Ripley can be while adding credibility to the challenger that is Natalya. So I thought it was great when you're talking about somebody that I don't maybe counted out because we just don't expect there's much gas left in the tank. And you should be going to, I don't want to say a newer model, but a different type of vehicle to drive that ship. Natalia comes out and proves her worth and proves, no, you don't close your eyes when I'm on screen because you don't forget that I do this. And I think that was very well said by Natalia, but she was just met by someone who, like Rhea said, yeah, but I do this better than anybody right now.
Which is fine. They can keep doing that time and time again because that's the kind of wrestling that is worth tuning into.
Yeah. So it remains to be said then, the Bloodline reportedly gets 42 minutes on SmackDown this Friday out of a 2-hour show. Now, I understand this is one of, if not the hottest angles in professional wrestling in the last few years. But is it time for WWE to tone down on this angle? Because 42 minutes without it being a match seems like a lot in a 2-hour show.
See, here you go, have that same problem why the fans started to resent Roman in the first place was he was being pushed down their throats. And if you continue to push this storyline down people's throats, especially consuming almost, and we're talking 42 minutes of screen time. So you take away commercials, that's one half of SmackDown dedicated to one storyline. And I get that it's hot and they've done amazing things with it, but you're not going to grow anybody else in the process by having this the focal point of all you're doing over on that programming right now. It takes away too much from opportunity of other people getting their names out there and being the next ones that need to step up. Because once you don't have Roman and Paul Heyman doing this storyline anymore, what do you got?
Dirty Dom Mysterio.
The Dirty Dog.
Half of your programming should not be focused on one story. So I did not get to see SmackDown yet. I have it taped. I've been working. Did you guys see SmackDown?
I did.
Okay, so of the other half of the program, how much wrestling was there? Was it even something that was remembered?
Yes, Sheamus and Austin Theory for the U.S. title was very good.
Okay.
I like that. And it brings out Pretty Deadly. It brings out the Brawling Brutes. I'm all for all 6 of those competitors. That's not even a doubt in my mind. And then you have Charlotte, and you have Asuka, and then you have Bianca Belair do some more. And they announce for next week that Asuka will be defending her title against Bianca Belair, which I believe Charlotte will interrupt that as Bianca did with them last week, and we will then have that triple threat set up. We also saw Io attempt a cash-in and was unsuccessful trying to cash in because of the melee that ensued with that championship. So there was emphasis on 2 other championships as well, which I did like. There was emphasis elsewhere, but to Bobby's point, there wasn't a lot of emphasis elsewhere. I understand that this is your big angle, and most likely Jey Uso challenging Roman Reigns for that championship probably is going to main event SummerSlam. I don't have any doubt on it. But my thing is, you start the show with that trial and you end it after, I think it was like the 15, 20-minute mark, only to come back with it because Roman Reigns put on a hell of a beating on Jey Uso. Okay. Only for Jey Uso to come back. And it just seemed over dramatic a tad, but it also seemed too much because why couldn't you just wait and push this out one more week? Right. Like they do. You just need one challenge, one accepted, and you're in. You've already hooked us on the story. You don't need to tell us 5 more chapters.
You could even wait until next week and do a pre-taped segment where Roman Reigns is beating down Jey Uso in the back and go, after that trial that happened, this is the carnage that ensued, and now we're going to continue the storyline without having to give us the entire rest of it on the screen. How much did the rest of the card suffer because of this?
I don't know if the card suffered. I just wonder if there was more to the card than what we got.
Okay.
Because we also had Edge on the Grayson Waller effect. That did ensue the in-ring debut on the main roster of Grayson Waller versus Edge. And Edge says he's not retiring, as Grayson Waller was under the impression that was an announcement that Edge had. So it kind of did that, and so we were kind of introduced to Grayson Waller in the ring. We got other titles represented, and Edge came back. So we got that. It wasn't a bad episode by any means, but 42 minutes is a lot. And could there have been emphasis on other things? Like, yeah, I know everyone's clamoring for more LA Knight. Mm-hmm. Could we have seen an LA Knight segment involved? I don't know. It's just tough to say what more you could do when you have half your programming towards basically one angle, ultimately two people.
So now, did they maybe not have enough for the show and decided to make this a 42-minute segment because they wanted to fill time? Or were all these other segments on the show shortened to make time and room for the Bloodline story?
Good question.
See, and then those are questions that, I don't have answers for. I'm not part of that group, but at the same,
I know, I'm just making the people think, man.
Yeah,
got me thinking.
But right. I have to wonder if, I don't know, like, because I heard, like, I just don't know. But I did hear that LA Knight, because the show was in Madison Square Garden. Let's not forget that. I heard LA Knight was there before the show started to rile up the crowd, but you can't have that. Like, I don't know. I think you're missing the boat on having some of these performers like LA Knight being on your show in a live Madison Square Garden aura. Yep. Like, that's big. Having some of these stars like AJ Styles or Karrion Kross potentially, and I think they did have a match, but again, not something I remember.
Man, what a fall from grace Karrion Kross has been since coming back, eh?
I actually do. Personally, I am invested in AJ Styles and Karrion.
I mean, yeah, I love both those guys and stuff like that. It just seems like everything about Karrion Kross, the presentation was fantastic coming into it and everything like that. And it seems like they've just gone soft on the entire idea. Like, they're just not interested in him as much as they were when they first brought him back to the company.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the main event like he. But at the same time, I do think when Triple H said on his press conference that patience is something like you need for the LA Knight, I wonder if he truly meant that for some other people as well. Because just like WrestleMania, if you're not on the plans for the card on SummerSlam, you won't see a lot out of that, but you will see something right away after the show. And I wonder too, after SummerSlam, when, not only could we get more call-ups from NXT, we might have people taking some time away from the product, which means opens the doors for other talent.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just a little much, I thought, for one angle. Especially, again, we don't need to be told a new story. We get it already. Yeah. But I do have the ticker going for the next one. But did you want to maybe get the calendar out of the way so we can give this topic some real time?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's calendar it up. Want me to hit the button, or you got her?
Yeah, you can go with it.
Here we go. We got some cool shit going on.
Mark that down. 3 years.
Well, let me talk to you. Man, the guy is so
3
contagious.
Yabiyeros.
But yeah, so one of, maybe not our last comment, but definitely one of the big hot conversations coming out of it, especially coming out of MLW Never Say Never last night. They held a draft and they announced some of the draftees. One of them
round picks
is the man who's always ready. Matt Cardona has been drafted to Major League Wrestling. Carl.
Yeah. I see some shock and awe down there.
Yeah. Woo, woo, woo. That. Good Lord. That is fantastic. I'm going to have to start making sure that I'm catching more MLW now. Okay, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, however you remember him, want to call him. He can be very polarizing in the world of professional wrestling with, yeah, we like him, yeah, we hate him. I don't give a shit what you like or hate. I don't care. I have always been a fan of Zack Ryder when I saw him come into the WWE, of Matt Cardona, him going to GCW and doing, some death matches and just all of the shit that he has been doing. He created a whole brand and name for himself with the whole Long Island Iced Z, doing the YouTube channel, doing everything. He made himself a star. He didn't need Vince McMahon to make him a star. He didn't need, having that platform of the WWE universe was fantastic for him. But to see him continuing on, staying in the business, even after being, gone from the WWE, still making that name for himself, I think is absolutely amazing. And I can't wait now to see. Okay, so does anybody know when he is coming in? Like, are they doing this entire draft first?
No. So their draft essentially is just a cool way of saying who's coming to the company for spots, kind of thing. So they dress it up like a draft, but essentially it's just like, we've got some names coming to the company. Here it is. And this one was announced last night. Now, he will be making his debut on the premium live event on Sunday, September the 3rd was the announcement that they made last night. Okay. Also, Matt Cardona coming out doing the promo there. He was out by the pool wearing the suit, smoking the cigar. Again, not everything he does is my cup of tea, but when he does things I like, I really do like it. The stuff in the NWA, I loved the shit out of that. That was something I really enjoyed. And so I too am excited because this is a big name for MLW, a big get, especially with the potential that some guys might be moving on. This is a nice person to bring in, especially to have possibly going up for the championship.
One thing I want to ask, because he does have that big name feel. He did something very, very much like one of his best friends, Cody Rhodes, did, what Drew Galloway, now Drew McIntyre, did. When they left the company, they reinvented themselves and made their act larger than life and better because of it. As we have Turnbuckle Studios going hashtag WWWYKI woo woo woo. You know it is what it said.
If you know, you know.
If you don't know, now you do. You've just been educated. But no, he is definitely one of the top acts out there that is not signed to any major promotion. Alongside him, Steph DeLander, who you can almost guarantee is going to be joining with him. Hasn't been revealed, but you can almost bet it's going to happen.
Yes, I hope so.
But I got to ask the question, if him coming to MLW is something public now, does that mean that he's probably not talking to AEW? Because you have to think, if AEW had interest, that would have been a for sure thing. That would have been another Tony Khan announcement right away, because we all know patience is not their virtue. But I have to wonder if this is his final kind of run before he does go back to WWE. I have to think this is the last stop before he does that.
Possibly. He might also just be playing the smart game where not signing with anybody might be best for business for him. He can go around doing these spots with an MLW, with an Impact Wrestling, with, he could go to New Japan if he wanted to, something like that. He could go work spots for AEW. Again, AEW has pretty much got that open door policy of one-offs and, dream matches that Tony will put together and stuff. So Cardona really essentially could still have spots in AEW without ever having to sign a full-time contract and still travel and do all the kind of things he's doing to build his brand and then decide what the hell's best for him from there.
Imagine if Matt Cardona's the one to respond to MJF who's talking crap about Cody, and that would actually look cool for you to see. Also, it would also be cool to see MJF and Cardona join Cody on WWE. But that said, topic is Matt Cardona drafted to MLW. Where do you see him fitting in? Because I could not imagine him anywhere other than either that Sam Adonis, Vance Warner, or Alex Kane spot. It has to be one of the two.
He's going to be pushed into a top spot for sure. I don't know if they'll make him go up against Kane right off the bat. That would be quite the jump and might be proof that his time there isn't necessarily going to last very long, or maybe not past one appearance. So again, I never know with MLW how much agreement there is about these stays. And again, I take this with a grain of salt. Yes, they've announced a date and stuff like that too, but MLW also dedicated one half of Fusion one night to a panel talking about Will Ospreay coming to MLW, and it still never happened. So that's why it's like, I'm certain this will, because you actually had Matt Cardona on screen doing the promo. I'm sure he's not going to skip out on doing this one date, if nothing else. But it's kind of like when you see like a Karrion Kross coming as Killer Kross, it's how long? How long do we actually have this star for? Kind of thing. And that's okay, because Cardona is going to bring eyes to the product. Doesn't matter who he goes up against. And even if it's a series of matches, if they get him in there for an opportunity against Jacob Fatu, Alexander Hammerstone, and Alex Kane, so that you're going up against like your main event players, former champions and current champion, again, that could be an excellent, short run that you have Cardona in there for, also allowing him to work with some of the absolute best in the business and giving them that extra little bit of opportunity and experience before going on to their next journey.
Now, I missed it. Did they announce him appearing and not anything else on September 3rd?
Yeah, appearing so far. They haven't announced what capacity, but they've done that before where it's like appearing, and then suddenly something will build and they'll have, a match announcement or something like that.
I have an idea, because that's what I do. But imagine if Alex Kane has his first title defense at the September 3rd show. And of course he's going to win because he's Alex effing Kane. And as we have Boomaye Fight Club in the ring, because Boomaye is for the people, that's when Matt Cardona comes out and says, Boomaye might be for the people, but Matt Cardona can say, F the people. And I think you're off and running.
Yeah. It would go quick. I mean, clearly that would piss off the audience too, because the way it's done. The only questionable thing is that Matt Cardona has not made an appearance yet, so there is no pre-tape stuff. So you can't expect anything on Fusion in the lead up to the 3rd. So the only thing you're going to get is if they do quick little quips on their YouTube page of promos that have been done and stuff like that. So it wouldn't be in that live capacity. It would be Matt Cardona coming on a YouTube clip, calling him out, and then Kane responding to build the hype for that kind of a matchup if they were to pull it off on that first appearance.
Yeah, but that September 3rd is not a Fusion, correct? It's their next live event.
They do both. So even last night, prior to going to the live event itself, or after, I'm not sure, but if someone who was there live would be able to tell us better. But they actually do the pre-taped Fusion stuff as well too. So as we had the chat going last night, Bobby Petito mentioning that Becca had a match on Fusion tapings that night, as well as her live performance on the actual pay-per-view itself.
Yeah, but like the next show will have that show and then future episodes of Fusion. So that September 3rd show we see will be live, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, those are going to continue. So those ones that they're announcing are going to be the live premium live events that we're going to start seeing. The Fusion will continue to be taped prior to that, and it basically features, everybody else. So I'm assuming promos are going to be led for the top stars. You won't see them as often on the Fusion episodes. But somebody even saying in the chat last night that there was discussions, maybe Court Bauer had mentioned the possibility of Underground making a return. And I thought to myself, I guess with the Fight TV Plus thing, they could essentially put episodes of Underground as an exclusive on Fight TV Plus, where they're giving Fusion away for free on YouTube, and you can also watch it on Fight TV. It wouldn't be a bad idea to bring the Underground episodes back to the platform of Fight TV Plus. And also kudos to Fight TV Plus. That platform is awesome. Love the shit out of that. I've watched pay-per-views, the Plus features, everything about it. I love Fight TV Plus. That is one fantastic app.
When it works, it's amazing.
I haven't had any issue yet. I really haven't. So.
I've had some on my end. I've seen some from other people's, because as we know, like our friend Mike the Ref, he's one of the reasons why there's AEW watch parties at Beercade, a local bar here in Edmonton. So and he uses his Fight Plus thing. And man, I mean, let's just say they're fans of Bruce because they're definitely buffering.
Yeah, but that sounds more like an internet connection issue as opposed to a Fight TV Plus issue.
The last time was actually because I believe there were servers down. But I mean that's not going.
Work smooth over on the Saskatchewan side.
Let's not say any, like, I'm not saying this to crap on Fight. I'm just saying things happen, but Fight is phenomenal on a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And
not just for wrestling,
because we've been, yeah.
There's MMA.
Carl, you're
all sorts of stuff.
I know. I was just being
quit being a ball buster on Bustin' Out.
Hey man, it's all about ball busting here and busting out.
Hey, I got a question for Carl right now.
Yeah, I was trying to go that route too.
Are you thinking the awards?
Definitely not.
Okay, so we've been asking people, trying to get some thoughts on what to call our first ever Busting Out Awards, and we've yet to come up with a conclusive. That's the choice. I threw out the boas. I know Basser liked that idea, but we're still looking for something creative. And we can't use the Busties because of Busted Open Radio using it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Trust me, we were definitely hard at the seams for that one.
Call them the Rail Riders.
See, I suggested the Railies, but I don't know if that's really appropriate.
See, that's a little more like ATVs, kind of more adult, video awards sounding. You got to include something with maybe busting or going off the rails or
like the direction.
What about the trackers?
The trackers.
Chad, if you have anything, we are really lost here.
Like rail busters. I don't know. Like that's shit, man.
We're like Vince McMahon at a creative meeting right now. We have no sense of direction. So if anybody is willing to help us, we appreciate it.
We'll get there.
Carlies.
The which?
The Carlies.
I think we've got more ideas for what type of awards to give out than the actual name of the actual award itself. Because they're going to be fun.
Yeah. Still an ongoing thing.
I still can't wait to give out the best OLED rant of the year award. He's got another good one coming out right away. You can wait for the Alicia Fox rant.
I was just going to ask about that one. Has it come out yet?
Not quite, but it's on the way.
But you can go back to some of our old episodes here on the YouTube and on Twitch and check it out when you can. But there will be a short coming, so don't fret. But yeah, anything else? Any of you two want to talk, or anybody in the chat? Do you have anything that you want us to talk about? Let me do my Cody Rhodes. So what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, I got my topics in there, as you can clearly see, the MLW heavy episode that we've had here today. But how about you, Carl? Any time to take in anything pro wrestling this week that's got your interest, or do you want to talk about CWE for a minute? You've been rocking and rolling as a commentator over there.
I have been, and unfortunately, they just ran through with a show that I could not be at because I was working a little music festival last night, which absolutely sucks. But, if we want to talk CWE for a second, I just want to give huge props to Danny and hope the best for his recovery right now. Danny Duggan having to have multiple surgeries done on the same issue, which absolutely sucks for him. But I know that he's going to be better. I know that he was here for the show last night, which is fantastic. And then my good buddy Diego Da Vinci taking on Chris Masters last night here at Sioux Blasters in Sault Ste. Marie for the CWE. Huge kudos to him, huge ups for him. I know that he is starting to wind down his career, but he's still making the best of what he has got available for him. And, the CWE allowing him that top spot, working with the top star coming in. Absolutely great. Deuce Diamond, the referee that comes up from the States and works these dates for the CWE through the, the Northern tour that happens here. Good for him. I love that guy. Absolutely fantastic. And then I got to throw out Vinny Da Vinci, who has been just really doing his best to bust his ass, get to the gym, take some names, make his way around, and he's going to be back here for a couple weeks and then going out west for a little bit, doing some shows out there. So huge for him, and I'm looking forward to what he does. And I'm waiting for the CWE to come back again. I couldn't ask for the day off because I'm taking next weekend off. So it was a little more difficult for me to be there, but definitely the next time they run through here, I'm going to ask for the day off so that I can be there.
Beautiful. Got something fun to talk about next weekend? What's going on in the world of Carl next weekend?
Next weekend is going to be huge for Carl, as I am going to a music festival called Upheaval Music Festival. I'm just going to try to get the lineup here for everyone. Upheaval.
And I just want to add, you can see both these guys over here talking about music on their old show Beats and Beats Down, where you guys have a third season coming?
Very soon. Plans are made, things are happening, balls rolling. We also got another show coming out very soon that we'll be bringing to you guys very shortly. In fact, that one's got a debut in August, so we got to do some recordings here coming up.
So as you get into that, Carl, I do pose a question here, because again, we all know that there's two things in this world that get me hype, and that's one of them is beer, and the other one's a good old-fashioned draft, as we showed on Thursday night. But since MLW is doing their draft, let's go around the block, and if we have two drafts of who we like to see MLW pick up, why don't we do our version of two people of who personally we like to see enter the realms of MLW?
Two selections?
Two. Because, it's 6 people in total. I think that's enough.
Sure.
We'll start with Carl.
Nick Aldis.
Beauty. Very good pick. I'm going Jay Bougie, as I picked him over on Mine and Pop Smoke's mock draft, and I'm sticking with it. I know he's already kind of shown up there and had a matchup last night on the MLW Fusion tapings, but still picking him because it hasn't been officially announced yet.
Okay. I know he's with AEW. I don't see them doing a lot with him. But I would love to see him in that dynamic of MLW. Bring me the bastard Pac.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good choice.
Back to you, Carl. A little bit more of a polarizing name, but Sessions Moth Martina.
Okay. Pinky's up. I'm going Allison Kay because, again, they need to keep building that featherweight division. I also picked her over on my one with Bob Smokes. I'm sticking by it.
Okay. I could make one that pisses a lot of people off, but I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go there. I'd like to see Jazz put a female in the Boomaye Fight Club. And if you want a spokesperson for this featherweight division, I think Jazz would be phenomenal. And if you want active wrestlers, well, then fucking give me Mickey James. Because wherever Nick goes, you got to think Mickey will go.
See, and I had previously, not this time around, but the last time they did the draft, said that they should pick up Queen Aminata. Because, again, you want somebody on the independent scene that is a star on the rise. Queen Aminata's got all the tools there that would apply perfectly to the MLW scene.
Yeah.
If by chance, I'll just throw this. If by chance they do leave the NXT and WWE brand when their contract's up, I would love to see the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Okay. Yeah.
Help build that tag team division because that was a fun tag match to watch. But give me some technicians in there.
Yeah, the tag division has not had a lot of like technicians as of late. It's been a lot of meat in the tag divisions. Well, ever since the Von Erichs lost them to the La Park boys or whatever, LA Park boys, and then that went from there, I believe, to. Oh, geez, I'm getting my timelines all messed up here, kind of thing. But they've been potatoed around a few times. There's the tag belts as of late before the small SWAT team picked them up.
Yeah, Carl, have you been able to find out the bands that you get to see?
Oh yeah, I did even before we started the draft.
Yeah, no, just one.
So it's going to be it's going to be a 2-day festival starting Friday, July 14th. I'll go headliners down. We're going to have Bring Me the Horizon as the headliner. Co-headliner is going to be Lamb of God. We've got In This Moment, The Ghost Inside, Dorothy, Memphis May Fire, Royal Bliss, New Year's Day, Dayseeker, Coldville, Black Note Graffiti, Dylan Delato, In Your Wake, From This Point On, and Blackout. And then the Saturday show on the 15th is going to be Falling in Reverse, Hailstorm, Ice Nine Kills, Asking Alexandria, We Came as Romans, Suicide Silence, Crowbot, Fame on Fire, Eva Under Fire, a new one that was added, Catharsis Theory. I'm going to have to check them out and see what they're all about. Of Virtue, Deadlight Holiday, Blackheart Saints, Assume Nothing, and City Wake.
That is a kick-ass lineup. Like, just so much good there. So much good. Yeah.
I've seen a number of these bands already.
Yeah.
But I'm jealous. More than happy to go see them.
Barry Monkey coming in and said, hello, Johnny Swinger and Zicky Dice is the answer to whatever your tag question was. It wasn't so much a tag question. It was, we just did a 2-person each who we would like to see MLW draft. And that's what it was. As said, I missed whatever it was. That's what it was.
Okay.
And then we have the Rant King and Fries saying, hey, it's Carl.
It is Carl.
Yeah.
It is.
The Rant King, yeah.
The Rant King.
The Rant King. Ed's saying he's only heard of one of those bets. Which one?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Which one have you heard, and which one are you most excited to see, Carl?
So I have not seen Lamb of God live, so I'm really excited for that. In This Moment, I've seen live. Dorothy, I've seen live. Memphis May Fire, I've seen live. I have seen this one. this band live, but I am definitely there for this band, and that is Hailstorm. I absolutely love Lizzie Hale's voice. The boys do so good on backup and the instruments. Absolutely love it. And I've seen them several times. I think this is going to be my 4th time seeing Hailstorm. Never gets old. They always put on a good show.
Yeah.
And I saw Ed's comment there of In This Moment. In This Moment puts on an amazing stage show as well. And I mean, she's just gorgeous. How can you not enjoy watching her? Like, it's just fantastic. She does so good. The costume changes, the quick costume changes that she does as well, like, it blows your mind. It's theatrical.
Yeah, it really is. It does. The stage performance is remarkable and everything like that too. And yeah, and it's seamless, like you say. It's every single time. Just enthralled with it. Just so many good bands that I really dig that you get to see there as well too. And just I can't imagine you're gonna have a blast, Carl. Absolute blast.
Oh yeah, I always do. It's a festival. You're going to be with people that enjoy the exact same thing. It's like going to a wrestling event. You're all there for the exact same thing. It's like a family. Same with this. This.
Exactly.
And I also just want to remind everyone that next week, live on Busting Out on the 48th episode, we
got news.
No, not news. We said it on Thursday. We had news on Thursday. I'm just reminding everybody.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did break the news on Thursday. Okay. Yeah.
Keep drinking. I got this. But no, just reminding everyone that the Love Pro Wrestling Challenge champion, Son of Irish, is going to be our guest next week on Busting Out. So make sure you get your questions and you get your comments saved for that. Because he's my X-Tag partner. He's somebody I've known for a while. I ain't cutting him slack, and neither should you. I think he might be en route somewhere as he's thing. So I am going to make him do that Olay Pod Challenge and really embarrass himself because it should be just funny. But yeah, so yeah. Oh yeah, we're going to mess with him. It's like anything else. You rib your friends the most, right? So
of course. Yeah. Especially when they're almost like family.
Get it from you. No, pretty much, right? But yeah, so it's gonna be a fun episode. He will be our youngest guest ever.
Well, just barely old enough to be able to be let through the door. We got like a 18+ policy on the door there, so
Yeah, StreamYard is very, very strict about who clicks that button. He doesn't even know what a mic is. That's how young he is. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But yeah, so I know Ed was saying he only knows the band In This Moment. We got to say, in this moment, it's time to tell you where you can find us. Carl?
You can find me at my link tree, linktr.ee/Carl Carafel. That's linktr.ee/KARLKARUFEL.
Nice.
But Carl, you also have a place where you can buy stuff, I believe, right?
Sure do. That same name, carlcarafel.redbubble.com, where you can, get yourself some Turnbuckle Talk merchandise, some Turnbuckle Studios merchandise, Beats and Beatdowns merchandise, Paramindful merchandise, Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke merchandise, and yes, even an OMD's Locker Room Visit t-shirt is available at carlcarafel.redbubble.com.
That's fantastic. What a good find.
I believe that coffee cup that you're sipping out of is also something you can find.
I think, I think you could order yourself one of those as well.
Oh, hey, here we go.
Yeah. And
this is the one time, unlike Shawn Michaels' theme song, you can say hands on the merchandise, people. Because, well, we accept that behavior sometimes. Bobby, where can the people find you?
You can find me at the ticker below there. That is where you can reach out to me, of course, and you can find me right here on the channel on Thursday nights with Papa Smokes doing Ring Respect Radio, and again back here next Sunday for Busting Out. Of course, we've got stuff coming out all throughout the week on our local establishment, from shorts to new live content to uploads going on all the time, all wakes of life going down. So hey, if there's something for everybody on OLE, so be paying attention to the channel throughout the week for new content.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, who, Bobby, do you know who we could possibly send a raid to?
And a whole lot of people on there. I think Dan Makes Games on there. We've helped him out before. It's an option. We could also give it to somebody who's lower down the list. If you see anyone on there, maybe just brighten their day up a little bit. We could give a random one to somebody new. Let's do it.
We got if you want to go red with 2Ds, Panda 07. They're playing some WWE 2K23.
Red Panda 07.
REDD PANDA 07.
We're on our way over there right now as we speak. So everybody give an OLE welcome to Red Panda, who's playing WWE 2K23 over there. Also follow and all those kind of wonderful things when you're taking over there as of right now. And if you're with us on the YouTube side, we appreciate you sticking around just a little bit longer. And until next Sunday, from all three of us, you've been busted.
Doesn't make me feel